afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4.
It's Friday. I thought it was Friday on like Tuesday.
For Susan Simon, you've had a busy week.
It's been a busy week, but you know what? It's always a pleasure to get to sit here with you every day.
It's always a pleasure to have you sit here. We have a busy show coming up, and we're keeping an eye on the Senate, so we'll get back to D.C. if events warrant. But first, here's what's making news on this Friday. Closing arguments are underway in Washington during what could be the last day of President Trump's impeachment trial.
Meanwhile, political reporter Amy Reed is live in Iowa ahead of the start of the caucus there.
And airlines are canceling flights to China as the State Department issues an urgent travel advisory due to the coronavirus.
We certainly have tabs on that. We've been talking about that all week. Let's take a look outside, though, because something else we've been talking about is the cloudiness and the warmth coming our way, but this horse doesn't seem to mind at all.
He doesn't look too thrilled about the whole situation.
I guess. I don't know if he's just not minding or, Anyway, weather words of the day. Oh, no weather words. We forgot. That's okay. We have Dana Fulton to give us the weather words, which are, Dana?
Cloudy and mild, but it's about to get a lot more mild outside. I swear Gary sent the email.
Yeah, he did. It's my fault.
Okay, good. As long as we're pointing the blame somewhere. No. So right now it is flurrying outside. We got some flurries coming down on the backyard patio. Those flurries are going to come to an end tonight. Tomorrow we're looking at another cloudy sky with mild temperatures a little above average, but Sunday, I think our sights are on Sunday, due to the near record-breaking temps we're expecting in the afternoon and the fact we're actually going to get a little sunshine for Sunday. So tomorrow, mostly cloudy and mild. High temperatures for Saturday, very similar to today, actually, kind of a copy and paste like we've had all week. We'll be in the upper 30s for afternoon highs. But for Sunday, plan on getting some sunshine. It's going to be breezy and mild, though. We'll be in the mid-40s on Sunday. The record is 47, set in the 80s. See if we'll break that record on Sunday. We're expecting partly sunny skies. I'm sure the temperatures will be a big deal, but the bigger story for Sunday, getting the sun back. We'll take a closer look, though, at if the sun will stay into next week in just a few minutes. Right now, here's a look at the Beltline at Park Street. Thankfully, no accidents to report at this time, though the Beltline is starting to get a little slower on the eastbound side as more folks hop on the roads. Downtown looks nice and smooth. Janesville should be good at this time, and the interstate looks fairly smooth as well. Now, to get from Janesville to the Beltline, it's 24 minutes, 17 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and some parade to downtown, about 16 minutes on your Friday Eve. Friday, the roads tend to get a little busier a little earlier, so I would hop on the Beltline soon if you can.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, right. See you later then, Dana. No, I'm just kidding. All right, thank you so much.
Let's take a live look now into the Senate chamber where discussions are ongoing about what to do next in the Senate impeachment trial of President Trump. House managers and the president's lawyers are making their closing arguments in the Senate impeachment trial. We are awaiting a vote on whether to allow witnesses. All of this as another bombshell drops from John Bolton. Katherine Johnson reports from Capitol Hill.
Is this a fair trial?
House managers made a final plea for witnesses after the New York Times published another revelation from former National Security Advisor John Bolton's upcoming memoir.
Let's put John Bolton under oath. The trial is supposed to be a quest for the truth. Let's not fear what we will learn.
According to the report, Bolton writes that President Trump directed him in early May to call then-Ukrainian President-elect Volodymyr Zelensky to urge him to meet with Rudy Giuliani, who planned to discuss investigations into the Democrats. The president's request allegedly came during an Oval Office meeting also attended by Giuliani, Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, and White House counsel Pat Cipollone. President Trump denied the claim in a statement, saying that meeting never happened.
Senate Republicans are certain they'll defeat votes on witnesses after 3 of their members announced they would not join the Democrats.
What a sham the trial would be if we can't get the full truth and nothing but the truth.
This is probably a good idea to bring this thing to a close here in the near future.
Senate Republican leaders say they hope the trial will wrap up by the end of the week with the president's acquittal, but that final vote may not come until next week. Katherine Johnson, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And the president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, has tweeted his denial of the latest John Bolton book claims, calling them a lie.
The first test to determine who will be the Democratic presidential candidate is just 3 days away. People in Iowa will caucus Monday night, and until then, supporters of those candidates in the running are working to make sure every Democrat in the state shows up to vote. There was no Senator Warren at an event for candidate Elizabeth Warren in Des Moines today. She is among those in Washington serving as a juror in the president's impeachment trial. It was Congresswoman Ayanna Presley, who revved up the candidate's young supporters. Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Amy Klobuchar are also relying on hardcore volunteers. All campaigns in Iowa are in that final push before Monday's caucuses.
It's our first test of the American electorate for who they'll pick for a Democratic nominee to challenge President Donald Trump in November. Our Amy Reed spoke to some of the people who will be helping make the call next week. She joins us now from Dubuque, Iowa, to show us how they're feeling. Amy.
Just a few miles over the border, and what a difference it makes. We're not even in the epicenter of politics in the state still. Up and down Main Street, you can tell the caucuses are just a couple days away. Multiple campaigns have offices set up here. Amy Klobuchar's campaign told us today they have 19 offices in the state. That's not going to be an anomaly with the role Iowa plays going first. In Wisconsin, we've gotten a few, but people here said they see ads for multiple candidates on TV and online. They also get calls and texts from the campaigns and have been for months, if not a year. They recognize the attention is special, but still, politics is not for everyone.
I'm maybe getting sick of all the phone calls and text messages.
I've never noticed a real change. You see a lot of stuff in the media, but like in my day-to-day life, yeah, nothing's really ever like been significantly changed depending on who's the president.
I actually think it's pretty amazing that we get to see all the candidates. And, I mean, you can talk to them just like this, face to face.
That last point is probably what people we talk to here say they've enjoyed the most. They said instead of getting the message through a third party, they get to ask candidates questions themselves. They even see Wisconsinites coming down to reap some of the benefits of that near one-on-one time. Now, if you want to be part of that, campaigns have events going on throughout the weekend, often in multiple parts of the state, but you could also just be patient. Wisconsin will get its time in just a few months.
We sure will. Amy Reed reporting live in Dubuque. Thank you.
And Amy will have coverage of the Iowa caucuses starting Sunday. Stay with Channel 3000 and News 3 Now for the very latest.
The Madison man accused of stabbing a woman to death has been found competent to stand trial. Lou Jefferson appeared in Dane County Court this morning. He is charged with first-degree homicide for the murder of 30-year-old Amanda Woods last August near the intersection of Clyde Gallagher Avenue and Darbo Drive. Both sides agreed today in court that he is able to participate in a trial that's set to begin in June. Madison police say they are investigating after a woman says a gun was pointed at her near South Gammon and Mineral Point Roads. Officials say it happened around 10:30 last night. Police say a 49-year-old woman was driving a vehicle and was stopped at a red light when someone drove up next to her and rolled down the window. That's when the woman says a man pointed a gun out the window right at her. The investigation is ongoing.
Dane County added an average of 6,000 people each year during the last decade. That growth is only expected to continue, and it's raising some safety concerns, like the need for more fire stations. Madison Chief Stephen Davis is keeping tabs on the number of stat calls his department is responding to. That's when one department has to call for help from another because they're too busy to respond to an emergency in their designated zone. Chief Davis says he starts getting concerned about resources when he sees 5, 6, or 7 stat calls in a 24-hour period. Right now, that frequency isn't at an alarming level in the city, but it is for several other communities. Consequently, Chief Davis is looking into the possibility of building a Station 15, either northeast of the airport, on the far west side of town near Epic, or on the far east side around Sprecher Road.
And Madison's kind of got that urban sprawl to it. But if you look on the east and the west coast where communities have gone through growth patterns already, you know, there might be cities that are 10 square miles that have close to 1 million people in them, and you see resources, fire and EMS resources on every corner in those communities, and that's because of that infill and that vertical growth. Madison may look like that someday.
In the meantime, Chief Davis is working on growing staff at the city's newest fire station on the southeast side. Station 14 still does not have a staffed ambulance, so Chief is now working with the mayor and common council to come up with funding.
The Los Angeles Lakers return to the basketball court tonight for the first time since the sudden death of Kobe Bryant in a helicopter crash. The team takes on the Portland Trail Blazers, but before the game, the Lakers plan to honor one of their most iconic former players. Last night, the Los Angeles Clippers played their first game at the Staples Center since Kobe's death. Players and coaches wore shoes honoring Bryant. For the 6th day in a row, fans are streaming here to the plaza outside the Staples Center to share their memories and their grief. Thousands are expected during tonight's game.
Lakers are a Class A organization. The whole NBA has done wonderful, beautiful tributes to our hero, our king of LA, Kobe. So I know the Lakers are going to go above and beyond.
As the investigation into the cause of the crash goes on, a California congressman says he is introducing legislation requiring the FAA to mandate helicopters be equipped with a crash alert warning device that signals when an aircraft is in danger of hitting the ground. The Sikorsky S-76B helicopter carrying Bryant's party was not required to have one. The NTSB says it is recommending the FAA make the crash alert warning equipment mandatory for all large passenger helicopters as early as 2005. It is currently required on air ambulances.
After years of delay, Brexit is set to take effect today, which means Britain is breaking away from the European Union. Earlier this week, the EU voted to end Britain's 47-year membership. Those in favor of Britain's exit hope the split will lead to economic reforms and push Britain's economy ahead of its European rivals. This was the scene you just saw there in Brussels, where British lawmakers vowed never to return to EU headquarters.
Today we celebrate the beginning of our independence, our ability to control our own laws, our own trade deals, our own borders.
In London, those against the plan say it's the worst thing the country could ever do. While the country remains divided, celebrations will be taking place throughout the day. Starting tomorrow, the UK will enter a transition period that will last until the end of the year.
The U.S. has declared a public health emergency over the coronavirus. Delta Airlines announced this morning it'll temporarily suspend all U.S. flights to China beginning February 6th. And American Airlines announced it is suspending flights to China's mainland starting today. The move comes after the State Department recommended against traveling to China in the wake of the coronavirus outbreak. China reported an additional 43 deaths on Friday, bringing the total there to nearly 213 and nearly 10,000 confirmed cases. There are 6 confirmed cases in the United States. In California last night, travelers waited to board a China Airlines flight shortly before the State Department issued a new advisory recommending Americans not travel there because of the virus.
Our greatest concern is the potential for the virus to spread to countries with weaker health systems.
Americans who were evacuated by plane Wednesday from Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the virus, are waiting at the March Air Reserve base near Los Angeles to get medically cleared to be released. And in a bit of good news, some patients in Wuhan are starting to recover. They were given flowers as they were discharged from the hospital.
Well, there is more to come at 4. We're heading backstage with Michael Bruno.
We'll find out what he thinks of the Music Theater of Madison's production of the play Indecent. That's when Live at 4 continues.
The Lynx device stops reflux by using magnets to strengthen the muscle at the end of the esophagus, and this prevents acid from flowing from the stomach back into the esophagus.
Stoughton Hospital. Trusted care close to home.
Once weekly Ozempic is helping many people with type 2 diabetes like James lower their blood sugar. A majority of adults who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
Here's your A1C.
Oh, my A1C is under 7.
And you may lose weight. Adults who took Ozempic lost on average up to 12 pounds.
I lost almost 12 pounds.
Oh.
Ozempic does not increase the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attack, stroke, or death.
There's no increased risk.
Oh.
And I only have to take it once a week.
Oh. Ozempic should not be the first medicine for treating diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Once weekly Ozempic is helping me reach my blood sugar goal.
You may pay as little as $25 per prescription. Ask your healthcare provider today about once-weekly Ozempic.
The number of uninsured Americans rising. The cost of prescription drugs rising. The threat to people with pre-existing conditions rising. The good news? So is support for the one candidate who'll do something about it. As mayor, Mike Bloomberg helped expand coverage for 700,000 people, including hundreds of thousands of kids. As president, he'll lower drug costs and ensure everyone without coverage can get it. That's a promise. And unlike him, Mike actually keeps his.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
This is the Chevy Silverado with the world's first invisible trailer.
Invisible trailer?
Hop in. Silverado offers an optional technology package with up to 15 different views, including one enhanced view that makes your trailer appear invisible.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. That's cool.
Where's the trailer, though?
Or get a total value of $6,500 on this Silverado without optional tech package or enhanced invisible view. Plus, current GM owners get an additional $750 cash allowance. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
The Lynx device stops reflux by using magnets to strengthen the muscle at the end of the esophagus, and this prevents acid from flowing from the stomach back into the esophagus.
Stoughton Hospital. Trusted care close to home.
Welcome back. With the youth vaping epidemic sweeping across the U.S., schools across the country are thinking outside the box, looking for solutions.
Krish Shaw and Adam Kamjathy are juniors at Crescenta Valley High School in Los Angeles, and the students created an app to try to combat vaping in their school. That app allows students to anonymously report when they see other students vaping. Associate Principal Christine Benitez worked with the teens on that concept for nearly a year. She says it was her way to help solve the crisis and get students involved.
Instead of us running around trying to catch kids, the app is helping us deploy those resources in the appropriate areas.
So if caught, a student must attend a 10-week program. The school says the goal isn't to punish students, though, but make them aware of the health risks. In just 1 week, students reported 300 vaping incidents at their school. Production will restart soon on Boeing 737 MAX jets. The company has reached an agreement with Spirit Aerosystems to restart production of key parts of its planes. Production came to a halt, and planes were grounded last year after 2 deadly crashes. Under the agreement, Spirit will start building parts for the 737 MAX slowly, then ramp up deliveries throughout the year. Production could start as soon as this spring. Eventually, Boeing will receive 216 MAX ship sets. Well, there will be Super Bowl parties across the nation this Sunday.
Indeed, and that means a lot of food. The National Chicken Council predicts Americans will eat 1.4 billion chicken wings this weekend. That's enough wings to circle the earth 3 times. Wow. It also adds up to big business for restaurants like this Buffalo Wild Wings in Times Square.
How big is the Super Bowl for you guys?
Super Bowl is huge. We're prepping for this a month in advance. This game is just as big for us as it is for those 2 teams.
Football fans expected to eat some 90 million pounds of snack food. For many, pizza's a must. Domino's alone sells around 2 million pizzas for the big game. And don't forget the guacamole. Around 250 million avocados were imported in recent weeks to prepare for the high demand.
Wow.
Chickens only have 2 wings, right? Where do they get them all?
We'll let you stew on that for a little bit.
Wall Street seems to be suffering with a case of the coronavirus. The Dow plunged 603 points as the number of coronavirus cases increases. The Nasdaq fell 148. The S&P 500 was off 58. Well, the Music Theater of Madison is currently staging the Tony Award-winning play Indecent.
As our Michael Bruno found out, as we go backstage, well, it's actually a play within a play.
My name is Erica Halverson, and I play Esther, who is an actress who portrays Sarah, who is the mother in the play God of Vengeance.
I'm Mark Wurzelbacher. I'm the music director, and on stage I play a character, Morris Godowski, who is a musician, plays the accordion.
I was looking for a
play with music. I just thought that might be an interesting thing, and that's technically the category that Indecent falls into, although I think it kind of walks the line between musical and play a little more than some. And I watched the recording of the Broadway production, and my first reaction was, you're crazy. There's no way you could do this. But then I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I got in contact with a friend of mine who is an emeritus professor of Jewish Studies and Theater at UW, and I just talked to him about it, and he knows a lot about it, and I just said, okay, we're gonna make this happen somehow, and that was about 2 years ago.
Indecent is a play about the journey of a play. And the journey that we go on is a play called The God of Vengeance, which is an actual play that was written by a famous Yiddish playwright, which chronicles the story of a family who is struggling to get out of poverty. The father owns a brothel, and his daughter, who has her sexual awakening during the play, falls in love with one of the prostitutes. And so, as you can imagine, that play was quite scandalous at the time that it was written, and faced a lot of resistance from members of the Jewish community who were concerned about how that portrayed Jews. But the journey we go on is how that play makes its way across the world.
Were there any kind of interesting things you had to research for the play, doing the music and actually being a character in there?
Well, I'm not normally used to being an actor, so that's been a fun challenge. This is not music that's native to me as either, so definitely I've done a lot of listening to different Yiddish language music and Jewish music, and trying to get the feel for what the heart of it is. And the accordion is a new instrument for me as well, so I had to learn how to play that.
It is Indecent, and Michael Bruno is here now. Looks very interesting.
It is very interesting, and if you love Fiddler, you'll love this show, because we showed a lot of the musical scenes, but it really is a play with music in it, so it's not really a musical per se. But it's a fascinating piece of theater, because it really discusses the play that really was a play that was on Broadway, that was closed down and banned because it had the issues of the two women being in love, so the lesbian issues closed the play down. So this is kind of a reimagining of what happened to that play and how it came back into being in existence. And Megan Randolph does an amazing job of finding these obscure little plays that do really well, and then you never really kind of hear of them again on Broadway and off Broadway. And she brings them to Madison with these incredibly talented people.
Right.
I mean, they have to they have to sing, they have to dance, they have to act, they have to play an accordion,
right.
they have to play clarinet. Yeah, it's really amazing. She really finds some talented people.
And a very intimate space. So you're right.
Yes, the play circle is a very intimate space. You're really right up front and close with them. It's really, really, really lovely.
So it's Indecent at the Play Circle Theater inside UW Memorial Union. It starts tonight through February 15th, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday matinees. Go to arts.ticketing.wisc.edu. And next week?
Next week, it's the Madison Opera's version of Fellow Travelers. Another interesting original piece, yes.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good one.
Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that food and wings.
No,
Go football.
Yeah, wings.
Still coming forward is a movie in your weekend plans.
I imagine it might be a part of Michael's plans. We'll preview the rhythm section, one of the new movies opening up. That's coming up right after Dana's First Alert forecast.
Welcome to the all-new Dwellings. Don't miss our new Fitchburg showroom grand opening now through March 31st.
When being sick isn't as bad as not knowing why you're sick.
When questions lead to confusion
and angst and anxiety. When it feels like there's a tiger chasing you into the darkness.
And all you want is a little light.
A little hope.
This is when you need the best of the best. Doctors who don't just perform cutting-edge procedures and treatments. Doctors who invent them. UW Health. Remarkable medicine. Remarkable care.
Start the new year with great deals from Jeep and Don Miller. It's the Start Something New sales event on now. Get the 2020 Jeep Compass Latitude 4x4. Lease for only $299 per month, 42 months, 10,000 miles a year. $2,500 plus taxes and fees due at signing. The 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited with heated leather seats. There's great selection. Over $4,000 off MSRP after all discounts and rebates and your own Don Miller deal. Don Miller, Madison and Dane County's Jeep headquarters. Odana Road, Madison.
I didn't choose this exact type of metastatic breast cancer, but I did pick Clarity by knowing I have a treatment that goes right at it.
Discover Piqray, a treatment that specifically targets PIK3CA mutations in HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC. Piqray is taken with fulvestrant after progression on hormone therapy and helps people live longer without disease progression. Do not take Piqray if you've had severe allergic reactions to it or any of its ingredients. Piqray can cause serious side effects, including severe allergic and skin reactions, high blood sugar levels and diarrhea that are common and can be severe, and pneumonitis. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms of severe allergic reactions or high blood sugar while taking Piqray. Your doctor will monitor your blood sugar before and during treatment, and more often if you have type 2 diabetes. Before starting, tell your doctor if you have a history of diabetes, skin reactions, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Common side effects include rash, nausea, tiredness, weakness, decreased appetite, mouth sores, vomiting, weight loss, hair loss, and changes in some blood tests. Ask your doctor about Piqray.
The biggest and best RV event in the Midwest is back. The News 3 Now. Madison Camper and RV show and sale. See over a mile's worth of RVs, camping equipment, and campgrounds under one roof. Tickets are just $10 and kids are free. Seniors, you're welcome at half price on Friday. Meet Gridiron Great Gilbert Brown Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Find out more and get your VIP ticket at MadisonRVShow.com. See you at the Alliant Energy Center, January 31st, February 1st, and 2nd.
Dwellings, Madison's best kept $150 secret. Visit our new Fitchburg showroom grand opening now through March 31st.
Well, take a look at this. Nico Matthew and his friend are descending into this picturesque glacier in Iceland. It's a dangerous climb down due to the surface constantly changing from flowing water and sections melting and shifting. Parts of this otherworldly looking glacier are over 3,000 feet deep. Now, this might look familiar to fans of the movies Interstellar or Batman Begins, as parts of both movies were filmed in this exact spot.
It looks fake. Can we take a field trip?
You climb, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that would freak me out,
look
Dana.
at that.
So ice climbing is a really big deal up towards the UP. Like lots of ice climbers,
not like this.
but not quite that tall.
That just gives me the
I know. I get really nervous about that. Please don't go ice climbing right now.
Oh, okay, so it's totally different from but you've got, the special gloves, the special hand, like it's actually hooks and the shoes and all that.
I would hope so.
I'm totally on board.
But I don't think we're going to have anything like that ice-wise near us.
In fact, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of melting over the next few days.
That's what I meant, you silly goose.
Okay.
You goon. You goon. Yes, so we're going to get quite a bit of melting. Not really going to decrease much of our snowpack, but we'll get some cool icicles as we get through the weekend. We'll take a closer look at our temperatures for Saturday and Sunday right after the break.
Join us for the Polar Plunge and give more than 10,000 Special Olympics Wisconsin athletes the chance to shine. You'll have a blast when you take the splash. Be freezing for a reason. Visit plungewi.org to register today.
Guys, carrying some extra weight? I know what you're thinking. Should I stop tucking my shirt in? Wear my pants lower? Just buy bigger clothes? You don't have to suffer to drop some pounds. Stop. Lose the weight without going hungry with Nutrisystem for Men, America's #1 home delivery weight loss program. Lose up to 18 pounds and 8 inches overall in your first month. Check us out today and get protein-packed shakes free. Nutrisystem for Men is designed specifically to burn fat so you can start to feel great. Dude, you don't have to go hungry, count calories, or follow some silly rules. People across America trust Nutrisystem because they deliver your favorite foods made healthier and perfectly balanced to put your body in fat-burning mode. So you eat the food and lose the weight. And the best part? Nutrisystem's money-back guarantee. Act now. Buy 1 month, get 1 free.
Go online or call 877-516-FIT6 right now. Buy 1 month, get 1 free.
My psoriatic arthritis pain, I had enough. It's not getting in my way.
Joint pain, swelling, tenderness, much better.
My psoriasis, clearer. Cosentix works on all of this.
4 years and counting.
So watch out.
I got this.
Watch me.
Real people with active psoriatic arthritis are feeling real relief with Cosentix. Cosentix is a different kind of targeted biologic. It treats the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis to help you look and feel better. It even helps stop further joint damage. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
I just look and feel better.
I got real relief with Cosentix.
Watch me.
Feel real relief. Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Join us for the Polar Plunge and give more than 10,000 Special Olympics Wisconsin athletes the chance to shine. You'll have a blast when you take the splash. Be freezing for a reason. Visit plungewi.org to register today.
News 3 Now First Alert Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Pretty cloudy all week. No reason to change things up for your Friday forecast. Right now it is a cloudy sky, and that's what we're going to continue to see through the rest of this evening. And for your Saturday, the clouds stick around, and then finally by the second half of the weekend, things are going to break up just a little bit. So looking ahead to Saturday, temperatures are still going to be above average. We still have a cloudy sky though through most of Wisconsin. And then heading into Sunday, a quick little warm front passes right on through Saturday night into Sunday. It's not going to bring any moisture, but it is going to clear things up. So we finally get some sunshine. Sunday will be partly sunny during the day. Should be a really pleasant afternoon as our temperatures will be near record breaking later in the day. The record is 47 and we're forecasting for 46. So we'll be right there on the line. We could be busting right on through that for Sunday afternoon. Behind that, a quick cold front passes through. So then things cool back down quite a bit. We drop below average looking ahead to parts of next week, but we do get to enjoy that sunshine on Sunday in the mild temperatures. So looking at our future track tonight, there's a small chance for some light flurries. I was just out on the patio. You could feel a few snowflakes, but not really anything that's going to impact your evening nor your commute. Heading into Saturday morning, we're still cloudy outside. That's not going to change for Saturday afternoon. It's not until Saturday night that will gradually become partly cloudy, and then throughout the day on Sunday, we get to enjoy some sunshine. It'll be a little breezy at times, so that breeze coming from the west, but not enough that we have to factor in any wind chill, especially since those temperatures will be climbing to the mid-40s for afternoon highs on Sunday. Overnight lows tonight dropping just a little bit. We'll be in the upper 20s. Cloudy with some patchy fog. Again, continuing on what we've seen for the last several nights. These flurry chances and freezing drizzle spots, they're really going to wrap up around midnight. And then heading into Saturday, we're expecting temperatures to be above average yet again. Another mild day with temps in the mid to upper 30s. Closer to the state line, we'll be in the upper 30s. May see close to 40 for some areas. But temperature-wise for the Dells and Sun Prairie will be in that mid 30s range. Sunday is our warm day. The day we don't want sun, actually, for Groundhog Day. Partly sunny skies, a little breezy outside. And then we start to fall back just a little bit. In the upper 30s, still above average on Monday. Then that colder air really arrives for Tuesday and Wednesday behind that cold front. We'll expect some light snow and flurries to develop late in the day on Tuesday and stay overnight into Wednesday. Most of that system is really going to stay south, so we aren't expecting a lot of accumulation there for the middle of the week, but that'll be our next opportunity for a little bit of light snow. For the end of the week, once we get through that event, we'll get a little bit of clearing, variably cloudy skies for Thursday and Friday, so a little more cloud coverage than sunshine, but we'll still get some sunshine back. And for the following weekend, it seems pretty seasonable with temperatures close to 30, a light snow chance building in for next Saturday, but mid-40s for February.
That's crazy.
Not quite where we should be for this time of year. Really? A little bit above average. But again, we get to enjoy the sunshine, which I think a lot of folks miss. Get some vitamin D. That'll be good outside.
Jimmy's going to see the shadow?
Yeah, yeah, that's the downside. Yeah, I know. We're going to have a talk with him. Yeah.
I think it's 6 weeks of winter regardless.
Right, probably. Exactly. It always seems like it, right? Honestly.
Middle of March?
Right, right. Yeah. Middle of March. That lines up pretty close, actually.
Thank you.
Yep.
New international thriller killer turns an average woman into a lethal force.
David Daniel has a look at the rhythm section.
I lost my family 3 years ago.
It wasn't an accident. There was a bomb on that plane.
I need your help to find the ones who did this.
Blake Lively plays an instrument of revenge in the rhythm section. She stars as Stephanie Patrick, an ordinary woman pushed to the brink after learning her family was killed in a terrorist attack. With nothing left to lose, she enlists a mentor, played by Jude Law, who uses the concept of music to train her to become a deadly assassin.
You got to get your rhythm section under control, like in music. Remember? Think of your heart as the drums. Your breathing as the bass. Your heart as the drums. Your breathing as the bass. Good. It's the easy part.
What's the hard part?
Living with it.
The film is adapted from a novel by the same name. The story focuses on Stephanie assuming a variety of personas in order to get her revenge.
I'm going to say this once. Even if you succeed, it won't be worth it.
I've got nothing to lose.
What about your life?
What about it?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Pretty intense.
Yeah, pretty intense. There's more at 4. We'll meet our Pet of the Week from the Dane County Humane Society.
And the chocolate shop is returning to Atwood Avenue this summer, but it will look a little different. We'll share the details tonight at 5.
700,000 more New Yorkers have health care coverage because Mayor Bloomberg got it done. He'll build on Obamacare with universal coverage and lower the cost of prescription medicine. Mike will get it done.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
What does help for heart failure look like?
The beat goes on.
It looks like Emily, cooking dinner for 10.
The beat goes on.
It looks like Jonathan, on a date with his wife. Entresto is a heart failure medicine that helps your heart, so you can keep on doing what you love. Entresto helped people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure. Yeah. Entrust your heart to Entresto.
The beat goes on.
The Color Purple is the Tony Award winner for Best Musical Revival. A glory to behold. Experience what people are calling one of the greatest revivals ever. The Color Purple.
At Overture Center, February 18th through 23rd. Get your tickets today at overture.org.
Like you, my hands are everything to me. But I was diagnosed with Dupuytren's contracture, and it got to the point where things I took for granted got tougher to do. Thought surgery was my only option. Turns out, I was wrong. So when a hand specialist told me about non-surgical treatments, it was a total game changer. Like you, my hands have a lot more to do.
The gun lobby's worst nightmare. Mike Bloomberg founded and led a gun safety organization that's helped pass life-saving laws across the nation. On gun safety, Mike will get it done.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Tonight at 5, after uncertainty at its Atwood location in the fall, Madison's Chocolate Shop Ice Cream announced it'll be moving into a new location. We'll tell you where at 5.
Have the votes to block any witnesses or further documents being presented during this trial, correct?
That's correct, Nora. This will be a victory for the party that controls the Senate. The Republicans, all but 2 of them, planning to vote against new witnesses or documents from the White House. Only 2 Republicans at the end of the day, Susan Collins of Maine and Mitt Romney of Utah, said that they want to get those witnesses, those documents, so that they can make a full decision about whether to acquit or remove this president at the end of the day. But most Republicans say they have heard enough. They had a chance to ask 180 questions over the past couple of days. They say they know the story and they are ready for the final vote.
Mr. Rubio.
And we listened for that final tally, but it appears it could be 49 votes in favor of witnesses and additional documents, with 51 opposed, showing how razor thin that margin will be in the United States Senate as we see this shot for the first time, as each of the senators weighs in with an aye or a no. Nancy, we're also learning from the Senate Majority Leader just about when there might be a vote on acquittal of President Trump. What are we hearing?
Mr. Shelby.
Well, that has been a matter of fierce negotiations all day long, Nora. In fact, they paused the proceedings for quite a while so that the leaders could negotiate. The problem is that some senators want to get this done as quickly as possible, perhaps even tonight, and move on. Others want to wait till next week. They want to have the opportunity to explain their votes on the Senate floor. And so they're trying to figure out some kind of compromise here that will make at least 51 senators happy. And it seems that that compromise is elusive, because after this vote takes place, they're going to go into recess again, ostensibly to continue discussions.
And recess is different than adjournment, right? There was some talk that they could adjourn on Friday night, come back next week. So it's still an open question about what will happen.
Correct. They need to take another break, talk amongst themselves, both the leaders and their fellow senators and their aides, figure out how late they could go tonight, whether they want to continue tomorrow. You know, there are some Senate Democrats who have their first caucus on Monday. They'd like to hit the campaign trail.
All right, let's listen in to the Senate floor. A final vote tally is about to be announced, which we want to listen to along with you, as this is a critical moment in the impeachment trial of President Trump. Had there been a majority vote to hear witnesses?
Are there any senators in the chamber wishing to change his or her vote? If not, the yeas are 49. The nays are 51. The motion is not agreed to. Under the previous order, the Senate stands in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
The Senate stands in recess, and there the Democrats' hope, along with 2 Republicans, of calling witnesses has failed in the United States Senate. That means that they move to the next stage of this trial. I want to bring back in Nancy Cordes, because even though a number of Republicans let it be known that they were not on the fence, that they were not going to call for witnesses, some offered some statements today that were very critical of the president's actions.
That's right. We have really seen a shift, Nora, among a group of Senate Republicans who are now saying openly that the president did exactly what the House managers say he did, that he urged some of his aides and associates to pressure Ukraine to help him get reelected by asking Ukraine to investigate one of his campaign rivals, Joe Biden, and by dangling military aid as a way to get Ukraine to cooperate. And that's really new. For months now, Republicans have been urged by this president to say that he did absolutely nothing wrong, and that's a case that was made by his attorneys. But Lamar Alexander, one Senate Republican, said it was inappropriate and that the House managers proved their case, but he doesn't believe that it is an impeachable offense that warrants removal from office. And interestingly, Marco Rubio of Florida announced today that he would acquit the president, because even if the charges are impeachable, he still thinks it would be too damaging to the country to remove President Trump from office. So clearly there was overwhelming evidence here. Some Republicans feel that they need to acknowledge it, but they still don't want to take that extra step of removing the president from office. In some ways, this vote today, Nora, the one we just watched, was more suspenseful than the vote to acquit will be whenever it takes place. Most senators have assumed from the beginning of this trial that the president would be acquitted at the end of the day. The two-thirds vote majority just isn't there to remove him. But Democrats really believed they had a shot at getting Republicans to agree that at the very least they needed a full airing of the facts. They needed to compel the White House to turn over documents, to allow these witnesses to testify. And there was fierce negotiation going on right up until the very end. But in this case, the Democrats failed.
Nancy, stand by. Want to listen into the Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer, in the Senate subway, speaking now.
Did not live up to its responsibilities, where the Senate turned away from truth and went along with a sham trial. If the president is acquitted with no witnesses, no documents, the acquittal will have no value, because Americans will know that this trial was not a real trial. It had no witnesses, no documents. It is a tragedy on a very large scale. I will be now going up to my caucus to discuss what we're doing next. I will not talk about it here. Okay? Thanks.
And Nancy, there you hear the Democrats making this case that this upcoming vote, which is an expected acquittal of the president, is going to be null. It will be invalid, in their words, because there were no witnesses, in their words in particular. But there have been, as we were just talking about, these strong statements by a number of Republican senators already, including what some have called a quixotic statement by Senator Marco Rubio, where he said, quote, just because the actions meet a standard of impeachment does not mean it is in the best interest of the country to remove a president from office. Was he suggesting that some of the president's actions met a standard of impeachment?
That's what he seems to be suggesting. He doesn't come out anywhere in his statement and say that, Nora. He's very careful never to actually accuse the president of wrongdoing, but he does say several times that I assumed that even if everything the House managers are saying were true, that I still wouldn't remove the president from office. And so it's really an example of the tightrope that Republican senators are walking here. You know, when it comes to witnesses, there was a fundamental divide between Democrats who argued you can't allow this blanket stonewalling by the White House to stand. Congress is a co-equal branch of government, has the right to demand these witnesses, demand these documents. And then you had Republicans arguing that that should have been done by the House of Representatives in its impeachment inquiry, and that Democrats there gave up too easily. They didn't take it to court to try to fight the White House, even if it took months or maybe even years, to compel those witnesses to testify. So those battle lines were drawn early. We heard the House impeachment managers make the case over and over again. So did the president's attorneys. That's really what a lot of this trial was about this moment, this vote on witnesses. And now we know the outcome. It was very close, razor thin, 51-49. And now we look ahead to final acquittal.
All right, Nancy, thank you. And the big question remaining tonight, when might that acquittal vote take place? And as the sun set behind me on the U.S. Capitol, so did the Democrats' hopes of calling additional witnesses or subpoenaing additional documents in the trial of President Donald Trump. There was even a bombshell new report today that the president's former national security advisor detailed a meeting that was held in the Oval Office in early May of last year, in which John Bolton alleged the president asked him to tie military aid to Ukraine to an announced investigation against the Bidens. We will keep you up to date on all of the news. Just to recap, the Senate vote was 51-49 against calling witnesses in this impeachment trial, a huge victory for the president's defense team. Our coverage will continue on our 24-hour streaming network, CBSN. You can watch it at cbsnews.com or on our CBS News app. There will be much more on your local news on this CBS station, and we're going to have a full wrap-up tonight on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News special report. I'm Nora O'Donnell, CBS News, Washington.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com.
One of our favorite Portage families here at the Portage Furniture Store, the Ayers family, that has grown a little bit since, yeah, he says high five. That's right. Since the last time we were here.
We sure have. Austin and I, proud third-generation owners, and now we're working on our fourth generation. We've seen generations of customers come through, and I think we take a lot of joy in seeing, hey, my parents bought from your dad, or bought from your uncles, or bought from your grandpa, and now Austin and I get to enjoy that ourselves.
How much fun is it on the days you come back into town and the three of you are together?
It's very special. Like I said, the longevity from my dad and uncle started in 1940 to now. Very special.
We're very, very proud to showcase predominantly American-made brands and companies that we've worked with for a very long time. We have a number of great lines, including Serta mattresses, Smith Brothers, Flex Steel, Lazy Boy, and England.
And not everyone has the Ayers last name, but everybody here, I know you guys consider family.
Yeah, we really have some wonderful people here, including, two salespeople, Rosie and Punky, who have been here with us from the very beginning, and we're really thankful for them.
Yeah, they really make you guys, they're the ones who make you all look good.
Yeah, they are.
No doubt.
And we need all the help we can get.
Yeah, well, he said it, right? What are some of the biggest things that sets you guys apart?
The free delivery. Yeah.
They still got it. I was wondering.
We do.
Glad to hear it.
And on top of a first-class free delivery service, we're very proud of our huge selection of top-name brand furniture at guaranteed low prices.
Well, with the free delivery, we've got a lot of stops, but I'm glad you're helping me. From the Portage Furniture Store, I'm Emmy Fink, and you're buzzed into Madison. He's excited.
Month after month, I'm doing it all. The supplements, the veggies, the water, but I still have recurring constipation, belly pain, straining, and bloating. My doctor said I could have a real medical condition called IBS-C.
From my recurring constipation and belly pain from IBS-C, I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess treats adults with IBS with constipation. Linzess is not a laxative. It works differently. It helps relieve belly pain and lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Do not give to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
I'm doing it all, and I said yes to Linzess. Ask your doctor about Linzess.
So if we look at our radar right now, we have some light snow. He's already checked out. Light snow right now over towards Greene County, flurries in Madison. Cloudy skies still for this evening. The focus, I would argue, is on the sunshine that we'll have for Sunday.
Looking forward to that.
Yes.
We'll be right back with the News Hounds.
Bring your family and friends to Monk's Bar and Grill, home of the mouth-watering half-pound ultimate Monk burgers. Try the Prime Nacho Burger, the Brisket Burger, the Alamo, or the Big Ten. Monk's Bar and Grill, serving up a good time since 1947.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet's starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and Internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499.
Get a fresh start with the Start Something New sales event at Don Miller. The new 2019 Ram 1500, the most awarded light-duty truck in America. Get 0% APR for 60-month financing or 1.9% APR for 72 months. Rebates and incentives up to $3,000 on all remaining new 2019 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. The Ram 1500, a 2019 IIHS top safety pick. Great rebates and incentives now at the Start Something New sales event at Don Miller, your Madison truck headquarters.
Don Miller. You try hard. You eat right, mostly. You make time when you can. But sometimes life gets in the way, and that stubborn fat just won't go away. Cool Sculpting takes you further. A non-surgical treatment that targets, freezes, and eliminates treated fat cells for good. Discuss Cool Sculpting with your doctor. Some common side effects include temporary numbness, discomfort, and swelling. Don't imagine results. See them. Cool Sculpting. Take yourself further. Go to coolsculpting.com for a chance to win $25,000.
Bring your family and friends to Monk's Bar and Grill, home of the mouth-watering half-pound ultimate Monk burgers. Try the Prime Nacho Burger, the Brisket Burger, the Alamo, or the Big Ten. Monk's Bar and Grill, serving up a good time since 1947.
Well, from a huge flock of birds to a stubborn basset hound, Lola and Louie have the best animal stories of the week.
Without further ado, here's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
It's News Hounds Now Update with Lola and Louie.
This week on the News Hounds, wrestling wallabies.
A close whale encounter.
And a lazy pup.
But first, Pitt and Polly, the new star attractions at Berlin Zoo, made their first foray into the limelight this week, climbing and tumbling around their cub-proof enclosure. Keepers prepared the glass-enclosed space for the 5-month-old twins' public premiere, removing any dangerous obstacles and filling in a water basin. Their mother, Meng Meng, kept a close eye on her cubs, pulling them down for any heights she considered too dangerous. The twins are the first pandas to be born in Germany.
This looks like something out of a horror movie. Thousands and thousands of grackles outside a grocery store in Houston. Swarms of these black birds are not an uncommon sight or sound in Houston, especially this time of year, but never before has so many descended at one place at one time. They tend to congregate in large flocks and prefer shopping centers and fast food parking lots where there's trash for food and trees and light posts for perching. Anybody see Alfred Hitchcock lurking about?
This New Zealand man decided to follow a pod of orcas. He says he was lying in bed when he saw commotion in the water and decided to investigate. For over an hour, he follows the killer whales. One of the animals approaches the kayak several times. He says he was in awe watching the orcas feed on stingrays. Fascinating.
Well, here's something you don't see every day. 2 kangaroos in Australia decided to turn someone's backyard into a boxing ring. The 2 were fighting over a female who hopped down out of there. The 2 tore up the patio furniture before taking it to the yard. Eventually, one of the suitors gave up, and they both took off. Thanks for cleaning up your mess, boys.